everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to bake up one of our very favorite things, one of our classic specialties. This is our kickin' sweet southern cornbread. Now it's going to be done in a pan in the oven. You could always make muffins if you wanted to. You could do it in a cast iron skillet if you want, but I'm going to use this gorgeous 9.5 inch square deep pan from Gotham steel because it's non-stick and it's amazing and it's oven proof. So we are going to start with combining our dry ingredients in a bowl by themselves. That consists of 1 3/4 cups of cornmeal. You could use yellow or you could use the white. We have 1 cup of flour, all-purpose. You could always go gluten-free and use a gluten-free flour if you wanted to. 1/2 cup of sugar. You could use up to a whole cup if you wanted to, depending on how sweet you prefer it to be. You can always do a taste test before you throw it in. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a dash of chili. Today I'm using chipotle. Sometimes I use cayenne, sometimes I just use straight chili powder, sometimes I use a nice smoked paprika. If you don't want it to be too spicy, you could always use Ancho chili, which is like a spiced raisin. It's kind of like a smoky raisin. It's not very hot and spicy. All right, so we're gonna just combine these ingredients so everything is even. If you needed to sift any of those things to make sure that you didn't have any lumps or clumps, that's a good time to do it. But this is a nice wet batter, so you should be okay. This is one of my favorite things. Moved down south, I lived in Texas and Louisiana, and boy, can they make some cornbread. Okay, set those dry things aside. In another bowl, we are going to crack 2 large eggs. I've been letting these guys sit out all day while I'm cooking other things. We are actually cooking a holiday dinner. This is Easter, but we typically make a beautiful cornbread for such occasions: Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and also for breakfast or any other time we really are just craving it. All right, go ahead and beat those up a little bit till they're frothy. You're gonna add 2 1/3 cups. I'm using buttermilk today, but you could use regular milk or you could use cream. Combine that. And I have a teaspoon of melted bacon fat. Now, if you wanted to use butter, that's a great thing to do, but if you have bacon fat, it's a really great addition. Add some kind of fat and stir that to combine. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine this a little bit at a time, maybe half at a time. Stir that through to combine. Add the wet to the dry bowl. Okay, and then add the rest. And stir that until it's nice and even batter. Now, a lot of people don't like cornbread because they feel like it's a little too gritty for them. The grain of the corn is quite hard, okay? So what I like to do is I like to let this sit for about 10 or 15 minutes while my pan is preheating in the oven. That is an essential key as well to a great cornbread. Make sure that your oven-proof pan is already hot before you pour your batter in. So, in the meantime, while that is heating up, this is just going to sit and soften that cornmeal, and you're going to get a beautiful result instead of it just being all gritty. If you're concerned it might not be too sweet, do a quick taste test right now, and then you can adjust sweetness. So I have the oven preheating to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I have my pan preheating for my cornbread. This is almost ready. I have another 5 minutes to go. All right, my oven is preheated, my skillet is preheated. We're ready to get going on this cornbread. Nice and hot. You want it to sizzle when it gets poured in. Okay? In it goes. Sizzle, sizzle. That ensures you get a nice crust on the bottom as well. Now, you always have the option of adding whole kernel corn to this if you want, or you could even add cream-styled corn to it. Now, this is going to bake in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. You want to make sure that a skewer comes out from the center cleanly, and you want it to be a little bit browned on the top. I can't really tip it much more than that. There you go. That's what you're getting. Now, this will rise in there too. Now I'm using a non-stick pan. If you're using a cast iron skillet, you want to make sure that you grease that up, or any other skillet. Grease it up really, really well. You could also do this in a bread pan. You could do this in an 8x8 glass or metal pan if you wanted to. Whatever you have on hand. Well, this looks lovely. I have a nice browned top. I can see that it's already released from the sides. That brownness on top is really just caramelized because this is a nice sweet cornbread, okay? So you're gonna have a nice caramelization, kind of like a crust. I love that. All right, do the skewer test just to make sure, right through the center. If it comes out clean just like that, then you're good to go. This just needs to cool. So I'm going to throw this whole pan on top of a cooling rack to let it cool just a little bit longer before I turn it out. Voila. All right, I'm just gonna make sure that this is really released from the sides, and it is. It's not even sticking to the Gotham steel. And we're gonna attempt to get this out of here in one piece, okay? Here we go. Beautiful. I mean, are you serious? I don't know of any other skillet or pan that would come out of so cleanly. Not one bit of mess. Look how beautiful the bottom is. That's because we preheated that pan before we put the batter in. Look at that. A beautiful cornbread. Now you can cut it into squares and serve it with butter all melted in there. Beautiful. It's still nice and warm. Thank you, Gotham Steel. You just made my life a lot easier. So I'm just going to let this finish cooling because we're not quite ready to eat. I'm just going to put it on the cooling rack. Let this cool down for the rest of our meal to catch up. All right, this cornbread is cool. We're ready to eat. Finally, we're all excited to eat. And I'm just going to cut it into 16 squares or so. But I don't need to serve it all yet. But I will cut it. Cuts beautifully. What a beautiful shape. I love cornbread for the holidays. And then, cornbread is also a really great bread to use for stuffing your bird. Woo, it's good. All right. I'm so pleased with the Gotham steel pan. I'm so psyched about using their stuff because it is completely non-stick. They're not even kidding. I mean, a sweet baked on cornbread batter, and that thing just slid out like nothing. All right, let me show you this gorgeous bread now. Look at that. Light and fluffy. It looks like a cake, like a sponge cake almost. Ooh, I love cornbread. I know we're about to eat, but I want to show you what this tastes like. Mom, would you want to try this with me?
Oh, sure.
Ooh, I'm so excited. It's been since Christmas since we made cornbread. Months.
You're the best cornbread maker I know.
This is a great recipe, I'm telling you. Just follow my recipe and you'll be happy. Happy, happy. Here, Mommy.
Thank you, dear.
That's so good.
I could just put gravy on this and have this.
Just with gravy?
It's so good. Oh my god.
And it's not gritty at all.
No. It's not too sweet.
Right.
That's right.
It's because I let that sit. Just let it sit for like 10 minutes before you bake it. And it'll be the bomb.
Like that will crack.
You might be worried about this brown crust, but that's exactly what you want. A little bit of caramelization. It's awesome. Well, I don't want to fill up too much because we're about to eat a whole holiday dinner, but I will stack up my cornbread to serve. So that's how you do it, folks. That's how you bake up kickin' sweet southern cornbread in a pan. You're gonna love it. Super easy to do. Just follow my recipe. Like I said, you can't go wrong. All right? Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on iFood TV at my.fossum.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. You can find my channel on Roku Cooking with Kimberly, and I'm also syndicated on Apple TV and Amazon. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe. Interact with us and let us know what's going on in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye!